All right, everyone, welcome to the podcast. We're here with a very, very special guest, Mr. Jared.
What's up, guys?
Good to have you joining us today. Let's start a little bit early in your career. Did you wrestle or do anything in high school, athletics?
Yeah, man. I wrestled pretty much since I was like 5 or 6, and I've been doing mixed martial arts since I was about 8 years old. I was two-time state champ coming out of Indiana, and I was ranked #1 in the nation coming out of high school. I wrestled for a year in college, and then I just decided to move on to my MMA career.
Did you grow up in Indiana?
Yes, I grew up in Warsaw, Indiana. It's the orthopedic capital of the world.
Oh, yeah, really? How many people are there?
There's probably, I'd say, 50 to 60,000.
Oh, so it's not that big, then.
Not that big, yeah.
Yeah, I live in a place, looking out my window here, 900 people.
900 people?
Yeah, it's deep in the mountains of southern Colorado.
Oh, man.
It's crazy
in
here.
the mountains of Caucasus.
It's wild, man, but it's cool because it's quiet. You know what I mean? I have a 17-year-old and real safe, no crime here. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Looking A. But so you started wrestling. What was the first MMA fight that you saw? Do you remember?
Oh, dude. I remember pretty distinctly the first MMA fight. I don't know about the first MMA fight that I saw, but I remember distinctly the first MMA fight that I was really interested in. It was when I was like probably 4 or 5 years old, and it was Kevin Randleman versus Boss Rutten.
Oh, wow.
And I was a huge Kevin Randleman fan because I used to bleach my hair for wrestling and stuff like that. So I was like, dude, this guy is ridiculous. And he's just huge. He's what everybody wanted to see, So, and Boss Rutten, you got to say too much. Boss Rutten's just a straight beast.
That was in Pancrase, right?
It might have been in Pancrase, or it was the early UFC.
Oh, yeah, because I forgot Boss Rutten had a few
UFC but my coach, he put me on to old Pride and stuff like that. He had old DVDs that he put me on. So I've been watching Pride since I was real young, man.
Nice. And so you started your amateur career in what, 2010, 2009?
I started my amateur career in 2007.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was when I was 15 years old. It was my freshman year of high school.
Wow.
Yeah.
And just for the listeners, you are 26 years old now?
Yes.
Wow, that's an early time to start, man. Where was this at? Was this because I noticed you fought in Michigan as well? Did you move there?
Yeah, I moved with my coach James Lee. He's actually a Pride veteran also. He beat Travis View and a UFC veteran. He's pretty much been across the world fighting. So he's one of the best coaches I can ask for, man. He's definitely put me on to. I mean, he's not my only coach either. I got plenty of other coaches that want to work with me all the time, and it's just a blessing, man. All these coaches around here, just amazing.
So are you living currently in Michigan?
Yes, I'm living in Lincoln Park, Michigan. I actually moved out of James's house finally, and I got my own place with my girlfriend, and it's a lot closer to the gyms and stuff that I acquire, and there's a lot of, I mean, I like the grittiness of Detroit. Let's just say that.
I don't blame you. It's nice there. So you fought a bunch of regional shows, Indiana, Miami, Michigan, places like this. How did you get your opportunity in Pancrase?
It was mostly I fought in World Series of Fighting Global Championships in Japan first, and I think that. Right. I think that and I beat he was ranked 3rd in the world at the time, Junji Ito. And I think that slid me by to other opportunities in Japan and other opportunities outside of Japan also.
Had you been to Japan before for World Series of Fighting?
No, I never traveled outside of the country, so it was an extremist experience. The plane ride. I got to stay there for like a full week before my fight, so I definitely enjoyed my experience down in Shinjuku and in Tokyo.
Wow, that's crazy. And then so from there, I assume that you got a call up from the UFC?
It was after Pancrase. I fought I fought like 6 times, and then I fought for World Series, and then I fought like 2 more times, and then I fought for Pancrase, and then
Okay.
I had 2 more other fights, and then I was in the UFC.
Okay, okay. And you know, you've had a lot of canceled bouts, right?
Yeah,
And I think only one has been your fault. I mean, just
yeah,
looking through your record, I mean, I think 5 of your last, 10 or 11 fights have been canceled. Kind of a string of bad luck there, which we'll get into with the Rizin fight as well. But with your UFC career, you fought 4 times in the UFC, 2-2 you went?
yes. I went 2-2. I beat Eric Shelton, and I lost against Davison Figueiredo, which I don't really count that a loss, but I lost. And I slammed myself on my head against Jose Shorty Torres, and which I'm not still happy about to this
In a
day.
fight you were
And
winning.
yeah, I mean, it happens, bro. It's just a
Mm.
fight game. Things happen, and this streak of bad luck. I'm happy that you asked me that, because I feel like it stems down to Ian McCall. No, no, no. I'm not kidding. Just for the simple fact of, and I'm somebody that is very superstitious. I'm a
Mhm.
very superstitious person, and I believe that everything that's put in front of my eyes is for a reason. So, yeah, I feel like Ian McCall, he had his bad luck streak. He was on a bad luck streak. He didn't fight for 2.5 years, man.
Right.
And so it came to me, and I feel like he brought that energy onto me for my UFC debut. And so after that, we're at where we're at, man. I got a
Right.
fight coming up on the 30th. I hope and pray to God that this dude does not back out, because I've been begging and pleading with my managers and my coaches, just like, please get me a fight. I don't care who it is. It can be Demetrius Johnson, or it can be the puttiest of the putts.
Right.
Just give me a fight.
Well, it was quite a layoff. A year before you fought in Rizin? Is that right? Something like a year?
It
Let me
was
see.
about a year, man. Yeah.
And so I know that you're a guy that likes to be active. What was the reason that you left the UFC? Because usually they give 5 or 6 fight contracts, right?
Dude, I mean, I got cut off of a win.
Yep. That's what I didn't
I
understand.
beat Roberto Sanchez, and I just think that as soon as Demetrius Johnson left the UFC, that they kind of wanted to water down the division just a little bit more. As you can see, guys that had 3 losses in the UFC were still in there,
Right.
and I think that they just needed the competition just to get a little bit less for other guys to shine. And I feel like I was in that middle ground, to where I wasn't completely the worst guy, and I wasn't the best guy at the point in time, which I thought I still was.
Right.
But maybe that's the way that they seen it, but they still kept me in the dark about it. And it was out of the blue, dude. It was November 2018. They were like, hey, man, you're cut. I'm
Well,
just like,
that was weird to me because, being a fan of MMA and, a fan of yours specifically, that split decision loss. Yeah, split decisions suck. You know what I mean? Could go either way. I hate split decisions. But then
yeah.
the fight where you knock yourself out, those were your 2 losses in the UFC, and then you beat a couple of good guys. I was just perplexed, but then I kind of put 2 and 2 together and said, okay, they were just making cuts. But as you said, they kept a lot of people on the roster that weren't as exciting as you, weren't
Yeah.
going for the finish as much as you. So I just wondered, there was no rift between you and the UFC, though?
I have no hard feelings for them.
Okay.
They are an organization, and they make decisions based on what their deals are. So they have matchmakers, and they have their presidents and vice presidents, whatever. But at the same time, I feel like it's a blessing in disguise, because I can look out from the outside and I can fight for awesome promotions like Rizin. That's a dream come true, dude. Rizin is one of the best promotions worldwide, and I get to still be here, fighting in front of thousands of people. So that's still a blessing, and I still got to thank God for that.
Hell yeah. So when that happened, what was your path from there? Because you then had another canceled bout after that, right?
Yeah,
I don't
man.
know if that was a Michigan fight. What were you thinking? I mean, because it's kind of hard when you just get cut for no reason. What was your path after that?
Well, dude, in America, nothing against American promotions outside of the UFC, but man, the pay, bro, like I just got out of the UFC. I just got done fighting for $28,000 and $36,000, bro. And you're sitting there and wanting to pay me an entry level fighter's purse. You know what I'm saying? Like they're trying to give me 1,000 and 2,000 and 2,000. I'm just like, come on, man. Like and the big guys that go into those promotions, those guys are getting 5 and 5.
Right.
So and in my opinion, I know guts and fear and, nervous energy goes into there, but like there's a lot of guys, the big 155 pounders I can beat the hell out of that are still making way more money than me. And I'm just like, dude, I've worked my whole life to be where I am right now. And I can't sit here and, punish myself over somebody else's decision, because I know how good I am, and I know how much work and how much road miles I put in. So it's a humbling experience, man. And maybe that's what they want. They wanted me to be a little bit more humble. I'm cool with it, man. I'm cool. I'm rolling with the punches.
Right. So what did you get a job after that? Did you have to work? Because surely 1,000 ain't gonna support.
Yeah, it's not a job if you want to call it a job, but I'm teaching people, giving private lessons, teaching at various schools, and I get by it that way, man. And I have an awesome girlfriend that helps me out also in the process, and she's very supportive of my career and believes in me 100%. So I'm definitely happy with the situation that I'm in right now, and hopefully RIZIN can get me in on the 29th. I'm fighting October 30th in Southgate, Michigan, against a game opponent. He's 6-0 LFA fighter. So hopefully he can give me a good go, and we can get some viewers on that too.
Yeah, that promotion is what, WXC?
WXC Warrior Extreme Cage Fighting, yes.
Okay, and then hopefully we'll be able to see you back in RIZIN. Let me go to your first RIZIN fight. Well, first of all, let me ask you, where'd you get the name Monkey God?
I've had a lot of people ask me that, and it's like I started out with the Spider Monkey. Actually, I started out with Bam Bam, right? That's what my coaches used to call me. It was Bam Bam because I had blonde hair and I was a little strong guy, and I was like, I see a lot of guys with the name Bam Bam. And then my manager, when I got with my management team, Extreme Athlete Management, they said, the Spider Monkey, you're like a spider monkey. So I was like, okay, I can do that. And so I look on Tapology and I'm like, okay, well, everybody has the name Spider Monkey. And I'm different, man. If you ever meet me in person, this is completely different than meeting me in person.
Right.
But I'm my own person, and I like to be out of this world, weird. So I picked the name, the Monkey God. I know it sounds douchebaggy, but I picked the name, and I think that it's definitely pulled into my manifestation as well, and it's made me learn a lot about Chinese culture, Hinduism, stuff like that. So and I was working at American Top Team in Indianapolis, and I used to call all of my students my monkeys. So
okay.
I kind of pushed myself onto that and gave myself the name the Monkey God. And I didn't know what the Monkey God was. I just came out of the blue, and went from there, man.
I think that it's better to pick your own name than have someone else pick some douchebag name for you, right? I mean,
the Spider Monkey and Bam Bam is not as cool as the Monkey God.
No, definitely not. Which leads me to, did you have an idea of what you wanted your entrance to be like for your last RIZIN fight?
My manager, he told me, he was like, all right, so this is what we're going to do. You're going to get a monkey mask, and you're going to get bananas, and you're going to toss them out to the crowd. And you're going to walk out to either Brass Monkey, or you're going to walk out to We Are the Monkeys, and we don't monkey around. But I was like, I was kind of on the fence about it because I was like, man, I got to focus on the fight. I can't worry about, you know, walking out. And I'm worried about more of the walkout than the fight, you know,
Right.
seeing if I can, but man, it actually worked. And it worked to my favor. And I got a lot of Japanese fans off of it. And yeah, my manager, Chaz Bolin, knows what he's doing.
Hell yeah. No, that was an excellent entrance. And as you know, the people in Japan love things like that.
It's going to be a lot better next time. It's going to be, hey, we already got a whole plan set out. I ain't going to tell you it, but you'll see it.
What music were you coming out to in the UFC?
My UFC debut, I walked out to Old Dirty Bastard, Brooklyn Zoo.
Oh, nice.
Because it was in Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
And but then Ian McCall backed out. So I ended up walking out to Brooklyn Zoo anyway in Anaheim, California against Eric Shelton. And then my second UFC fight, I'm pretty sure I walked out to Sango. He's like a really good producer coming out of Detroit. He's more like a Portuguese kind of style, and I was in Brazil, so I figured that they would like me, but they freaking hated me. Brazil hates every American that comes into their war zone. But the third fight, I walked out to Darth Maul's Duel of Fates from Star Wars.
Okay.
And the fourth fight, I walked out to Darth Vader's theme song.
Wow.
Because I'm a huge Star Wars fan. Also,
Oh, nice.
Yeah, huge Star Wars fan, man.
Did they not want you to stay with the same music? Because I know UFC is kind of vanilla and uniform with that.
I'm not somebody. I'm a different fighter each time. So I like the flow and the vibe. Completely different, you know. If I go out there and I'm like, oh, it has to be the same every time. I walk out the same, I fight the same. No, that's not how it goes. You're a different person each time you go out and fight. So there's a different kind of vibe, and I wanted to bring that into the people.
And that's what I love about RIZIN so much is they allow people to be themselves, express your personality. But I've talked to some UFC fighters, and they've been told specifically, like, try to come out to the same thing every time. I don't know if that has to do with song royalties or whatever the case may be. But I like that. If I was a fighter myself, I would constantly be switching it up because, like you, I'm not the same person every time. I don't want to hear the same song every time when I'm getting warmed up, you know?
Well, you don't want to get bought out, man. I mean, nothing against the UFC, man. I love the UFC. I always have. I was born the year that they came out, right? But at the end of the day, it's getting to the point to where we're getting bought out and we have no personality. My personality is Reebok.
Yeah. I was going to say you would have never been able to wear the monkey mask and throw bananas into the crowd in the UFC.
No. And it's a great fit. RIZIN is a great fit for me. And it isn't even that straw weight, bro. Like, if they wanted me to fight Kai Asakura tomorrow, bro, I will beat the brakes off of that dude. He's a great striker, amazing striker.
Yes.
The dude just broke what's his name's jaw, Oka Sasaki's jaw. Ridiculous.
Did you see the X-rays of that? It was broke right here and right here.
Yeah, it split his, like, you could see his teeth split in half. But the thing is, everybody's a different fighter, and I think that I'm a great matchup for a lot of 135 pounders in there, man. And I'm not a big 135 pounder. I'm sitting here making 115.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But still, my technique and my prowess and my speed. Look at Demetrius Johnson, man. He can go and beat anybody in the world with his technique, his prowess, and his speed. And that's all I'm about, man.
Yeah, speed is a huge thing because, you know, everyone thinks that you got to have this huge one-punch power, but really you could pepper people up with jabs and quick hooks and you know, the name of the game is to hit and not get hit, right? And that's what speed comes into play so much. The fight against the fight you had in RIZIN against Haruo Ochi was supposed to be the lineal title because you guys are ranked number 1 and number 2. Is that right?
I mean, there's guys like Josh Pasio and ONE FC and stuff like that that deserve that number 2 spot before me because I was inactive at 115. I was at 125. But, I mean, if you want to put it out there, yeah, I am the best 115 pounder in the world, but not on paper, in my opinion.
Right.
But in people's eyes and in my eyes, I'm the best 115 pounder in the world. So, but if they put me up against the ranked number 1 guy in the world, of course I'm gonna take that fight. Right. And it doesn't matter what kind of money they give me. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, Haruo Ochi, yeah, he's a great fighter, and I see he's training in the United States. So hopefully, getting his wrestling down with Izzy Styles with John Jones and all those guys. Mm-hmm. So he's been there before. So hopefully that means that he's getting ready for the 29th. You know what I'm saying? I haven't heard anything. I haven't talked to any of my managers about it or anything like that. But, man, if they can get me on that big card, I'll show out. I'll literally show out better than a lot of the fighters there, even Rampage.
I think that due to the way that fight ended and you guys being so highly ranked, I think that it's a must that they rebook that because it lasted 10 or 15 seconds.
7 seconds.
Oh, my God. It was horrible to watch, Jared, and watching your reaction was heartbreaking.
You're telling me, bro, because, like, I'm sitting here and it's my – like, all right, so there was a tsunami, right? Or whatever, typhoon.
Typhoon, yeah.
There was a typhoon right before there, and nobody knew this, but I got there at, like, the day of weigh-ins. I didn't get to acclimate. I didn't get to do anything, bro, and I was just ready to fight. I was about ready to say screw it and not go.
You got there late because of the typhoon?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Justin Scoggins and I got there a day before the fight.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's saying with Justin Scoggins too, man, because he went against a tough opponent and only had a day to acclimate, and he came out and looked like a world champion. Looked amazing. But besides that, I think that that Haruo Ochi is a very very good opponent. But at the end of the day, I think that it doesn't last one round. Inside of the RIZIN ring. You know what I'm saying? I think that he's a very good, well-rounded opponent. He's knocked out the ranked number 1 guy in the world at 115. But guess what, man? I've been fighting at 125 for a long time, and me coming down in weight is not good for him.
So do you think that you could fight at 135 if you had to?
I talked to the matchmakers. I talked to Shingo. I talked to I think he was the vice president when they were paying me. I got paid. I'll keep that disclosed, but it was bullcrap. Just because I paid for my corners flights and stuff like that, which is more on me. But they were telling me, they're like, "Hey, what do you think about fighting 135?" And I was just like, "Run it, bro. Put Manel Cape on there." But hey, all I gotta say is, if you guys are making me go up to 35, y'all need to be paying me 35 money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if you pay me what you're paying Manel Cape, let's get it.
Well, the reason I ask is because there's a rumored Bantamweight Grand Prix going down next year in RIZIN.
Yeah.
It's rumor right now. Could be true. I'm sure it should be because they have probably the best Bantamweight roster in the world.
Yeah, they do.
Victor Henry and Manel Cape and Horiguchi and Asakura. And that's why I asked you that, because you seem like the type of guy who would love to be involved in a tournament. Have you ever fought multiple times in one night?
I was supposed to, and it wasn't one night, but I was in a Grand Prix in Chechnya. Okay. And it had Magomed Bibliotov. It had a bunch of like ranked, really high-touted guys in Chechnya, and it was like $100,000 tournament. And I was like, let's get it. You know what I'm saying? And after I beat this kid from England, they were like, yeah, we aren't going to put you up against our best guy. Magomed Bibliotov was their best guy in Chechnya, and they're ringleaders. So, of course, they didn't want me to go against him. And if you look at my Instagram, you can see me and him getting into it. And they don't really like homosexuality too much.
Uh-huh.
And I gave him the kissy face, and all those people wanted to murder me, bro.
Well, that's funny because, you know, Japan's sort of like that in the way that they don't like too much trash talking. I mean, we saw like Manel Cape slapping Ian McCall in the back of the head, and he kind of got reprimanded for that. But at the same time, they want people to be their own personality. This is why I love Rizin so much. Were you aware of Lenny Hart and how amazing she is before you went to Rizin?
Well, repeat that.
Lenny Hart, were you aware of her, the announcer for Rizin and for Pride? Were you aware
of her? Man, I was just because I trained with Darren Kirkshank, right? Mm-hmm. And I did my impression of her, right? And so I was like, Darren Kirkshank! And bro, yeah, she's ridiculous. Like, she's probably tip top with Bruce Buffer.
I've long said that in combat sports, I think that you have a hard time comparing her to anybody. You know, I mean, Michael Buffer, Bruce Buffer, she is so amazingly talented. I was lucky enough to have her on the podcast. I had a bunch of
that's great, man.
I had a bunch of fighters reach out to me and asking me, "Can you get her to say my name, please?" You know, people wanted to, as their ringtone and shit. And I'm like, "Hey, get in Rizin. It's not my deal." But she did an intro for me that you'll be hearing on this podcast, and my name is Zach Borrego. And so I knew it was going to be good because she, you know,
yeah.
And I was just so humbled and lucky, and I couldn't say enough. But when you were walking out for the opening ceremony, what was that like? Because that on TV, I've never been to a Rizin in person, but on TV it looks like the most amazing thing ever.
Well, compared to the again, nothing against the UFC,
right?
But it is not fucking with that quality of, you know, just promotional, just showing people, you know, lights. It's about lights, camera, action over there, dude. And when I walked out, I was literally froze. I was like, you're kidding me. And I was in the Dolphin Arena, bro. That was a small arena compared to Saitama.
Right.
You know? And I pray to God I can get into Saitama, bro. And if I can do that and put on a performance in front of, you know, 60,000 Japanese fans and have all that fan base with me too, you know, that's just a blessing.
I was actually really impressed with how good they've done at Dolphins Arena and this last one at Osaka that only holds, you know, 6,000-7,000. I've been really impressed because they don't have the huge screens that Saitama has, right? You keep referencing the 29th. That's the Bellator show, right?
It's Fedor. Yeah, is it the Bellator show?
Yeah, it's going to be a Bellator show, and they're going to do what they've announced so far is they're going to do at least 3 Rizin fighters against the 3 Bellator fighters. It may be more, it may be less. The problem with that show, and I'm trying to find out more information, but the Rampage and Fedor fight is under unified rules, which is weird. So no kicks to the head when you're on the ground, no knees to the head when they're on the ground. So yeah, then they're doing the 31st show at Saitama again.
Oh, okay. I did not know they were doing the 31st show. Okay, if they're doing the 31st show, then I'm probably going to be on that.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know. I thought they changed the 31st into the 29th.
No, they'll do the 29th, and it is called the Bellator Japan show, but they are going to have some Rizin fighters, but they haven't announced if it's a ring or a cage yet. But I just wonder, I mean, I know Manel Cape's thrown his hat in there and stuff, but I wonder, and I know you seem like the kind of guy who'd take any fight, but I wonder have you fought in a ring before Rizin?
I actually did a couple kickboxing fights.
Okay.
It was kind of weird. Don't get me wrong. It was a little awkward, but you know, I train boxing every day. I'm in Detroit. I'm in the Dirty D, Kronk. All those guys, man. You got Klitschko coming out of there. You got Lennox Lewis. You got some of the best boxers coming out of the gym that I'm boxing out of. So I get to train a lot inside of a ring. So it's a blessing that God put me over here to where I can get ready for that.
And the reason I ask, I guess, is because I assume that you'd rather have the knees to the grounded opponent, soccer kicks, things like this.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why I just hope that they change. I just know from the poster, Fedor and Rampage, that it says unified rules, and they're going to be commissioned by the Mohegan Sun here in America. And I mean, you can't go to Japan and not have, and I'm going to transition to this. Knees to a grounded opponent is much more than what people think. It stops the stalling of the wrestling. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes. Yes.
You know, and that's why I just think I hope that the tune gets changed, or maybe it's just for the main event, because a lot of people have told me, well, it's because it might be in a cage, and knees to a grounded opponent or soccer kicks against a cage, you could trap someone there, but one championship uses knees.
Yeah.
You know, have you watched much One Championship? What do you think of them?
Yeah, I think that they're a rising promotion. They're pretty good. They're not bad. I think that that promotional wise, they're not compared to Ryzen at all.
Right.
Ryzen has a 10 times better venue and you know, promotional and how they promote their fighters. You know what I'm saying? But don't get me wrong. Everybody has their own opinions about what promotion that they like the most. But right now, I think Ryzen's on the get, bro.
That's part of the reason why I started this podcast, and I've talked to some people from Pancrase and from One and things like this. But you know, and I'm all about promoting fighters and federations. But Ryzen to me is something that we haven't seen. I mean, I would say since Pride, but in some ways they're even better than Pride. You know, Pride
way different.
Yeah, and Pride for a long time didn't allow elbows. I mean, but like you said, the presentation is off the charts. The only promotion that I could even compare it to would maybe be KSW. They put on quite a
KSW is a pretty I told KSW the only fight that I will do for them is a crazy fight against Mariusz Pudzianowski, bro. I don't care. Hey, if Ryzen wants to put me up against Bob Sapp, I am down with it. Because, hey, I want a freak show fight. Get me a freak show fight. You know why? Because the 115, 125 counters, they've been shit on this whole time. And you know what me beating Bob Sapp will do? It'll put all of that attention back on the 25 pounders, back on the little guys. Because don't get me wrong, I get hit by Bob Sapp, that's gonna fucking hurt.
Right.
I don't want to get hit by Bob Sapp.
Right.
But if I can get Bob Sapp's back, I can choke him out very easily.
Well, and you're a lot faster than him too. It would be
same with Mariusz Pudzianowski. I want to fight the muscle heads. The muscle heads get tired real quick too. But that's the thing about it. If you get hit, then it might be over.
It might be over.
It might be over. But if I can get their backs or take them down, then it's going to be over for them.
Well, and I feel like, you know, the open weight tournaments, Ryzen started with an open weight tournament, right?
Oh, dude, hey, 55 pounders? No. Any 55 pounder in Ryzen, I'm not. Damian Brown, Darren Cruikshank, all those guys,
Right.
Wait.
Oh,
Hey, can you see me? Sorry about that.
Yeah, you must have got a call or something.
No. It was just low battery.
Oh, okay. No, I'll give you a minute here.
Oh, you're good. I got it.
I love the open weight thing. I think King Mo won the first open weight Grand Prix.
Yeah.
You know, which was surprising. He had knocked out the now champion Jiri Prohaska, you know, which was amazing. And
King Mo does not like me.
No, why not?
Hey, all right. So we started training at American Top Team together in Coconut Creek, right? And he was always just messing with me all the time. He'd be like, "Oh, what's up, Frodo? What up, Frodo? You gonna get a takedown against me? Nah, Frodo." And I was like, at least I don't look like an orc. And he got so pissed off. And then on Facebook, because I'm an American person, bro. I love America. And I don't care who our president is. I don't care if it's Barack Obama. I don't care if it's George Bush, Hillary Clinton. I'm going to support our president. Like, if you don't support your president, then you are anti-American.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I said publicly on Facebook that I don't care what anybody says. I support our president. And he was like, "Dog, you are racist." I was like,
wow.
And then, hey, 2 days later, right? Because my coach James and King Mo are really good friends. And 2 days later, King Mo's at WXC cornering one of my boys, Josh, and I had to go pick up King Mo and Josh. And so it was awkward as hell. But hey, I got King Mo, if you're listening, I got mad love for you, bro.
Yeah,
no matter what the hate is, I got love.
That's what's up, man. It's all love. How long did you train at Top Team in Florida?
I was at Dragon House, which was like 6 guys in one house down in Margate, and we were there for about a year and a half, and then they changed the facilities. And my boy Justice Goggins, he's my best friend. He said he was moving back to South Carolina, so I was like, "Run it! I'm coming with you." You know what I'm saying? So I went with him, and they kind of took it as like I was saying "F you" to American Top Team. Nah, it was nothing like that. I have tremendous respect for all the coaches. They have one of the best teams in the world, for Christ's sakes, you know. So
how long ago was that?
I was training there from 2014 to 2015.
Okay. And 6 guys in one house? Are we talking a small house?
It was a pretty small house, dude. I was staying on a beanbag.
Oh, so no ladies up in your crib.
I was not getting laid down in Margate. No, I wasn't.
This is something fighters often talk about, but do you have a view on having sex before you fight?
Yeah.
I mean, because a lot of boxers talk about abstaining for weeks and weeks, right?
Yeah, well, I think it's just a mentality, dude. It's kind of like, okay, I can't smoke weed for 2 weeks before my fight. It fucks my head up. Nah, you don't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? Just your mentality and your superstitions. But yeah, I got it on right before my last UFC fight, bro.
Do you think that how much mental is fighting for you? Because you're a built guy and you're really in well shape, but how much of it is mental, would you say, if you had to put a percentage on it?
It's 100%, bro. 100% mental for me, at least, because I was born with athletic abilities beyond this world, and my dad can attest to that, and so can my mom. And yeah, it's 100% mental, dude. If you're not mentally in the game, then you're out. It doesn't matter how good you are. If my mind isn't good and I'm fighting against you, you can still beat me. Everybody has a puncher's chance.
Yeah, everyone does. Transitioning to the lightweight Grand Prix, did you watch RIZIN 19?
I watched a little bit of it. I watched the highlights, and I was very impressed with their lightweight Grand Prix, man. They have a lot of great guys in there, and I studied the 55-pound division because one of my coaches, Darren Cruikshank, he's in it, of course, but he wasn't in the Grand Prix because he got beat by Yosef. He got beat by Yosef, and he got beat by Damian Brown.
Right.
But
that Tofik fight he had, I just got to say, was really, really close, though.
His name's Tofik. I called him Yosef.
That was a really close fight. I'm a huge fan of Darren Cruikshank, or Cruikshanku, as they call him.
Dude, the dude's ridiculous, bro. Like, and he started out under James also. Like, most of the guys, Miles Jury, the best guys that come out of Michigan, first acquired with James. James is the gatekeeper into getting into big promotions. So a lot of people think that, oh, I'm just this tough guy. I'm going to go fight this guy. I'm going to go fight this guy. I'm going to go fight this guy. It's a little bit more political than that.
Right. Hopefully, just to touch on Cruikshank again, hopefully he'll get to be an alternate, because they're going to do.
He deserves it, dude.
Yeah, he totally does. He's beaten some great guys. And then, like the Damian Brown fight, all respect to Damian Brown, but Cruikshank was winning that fight and got caught in the guillotine. Like you said, it could happen to anybody. But I know that they're going to do an alternate bout on the 31st, and then the guys are going to have to fight twice, which is what I love about these Grand Prix. Is you got to fight and then you got to fight again. Who would be your pick? I mean, you might have some biases, but who would be your pick to win it all?
Dude. I mean, you Asakura is still in there, right?
No, he's
45.
Mikaru's a 45er and Kai is a 35er.
Wow. Yeah.
You got Johnny Case against Tofik Musayev, and then you got on the other side you got Pitbull, Patricky Pitbull against Luis Gustavo.
Those are tough picks.
Really tough.
Very tough picks. And if I put my betting money on it, I'd say that Tafik and Pitbull in the finals. And if Darren's in there, I'm gonna root for Darren, of course. I think that he's capable of a lot more than than what he's shown. He's the best striker. He's one of the best strikers in RIZIN right now. You know what I'm saying?
And I gotta say that he's probably the most exciting fighter in RIZIN as well. I mean, he is super exciting every time.
He walks out. He puts that American persona on, man. It's great. It's great for Japanese fans, and it's great for American fans and worldwide fans. So, I mean, to have him not as an alternate, that's a bad mistake. But hey, don't get me wrong, RIZIN, you can make any decision that you want. I'm keeping out of it. But I think that that if it goes down to the original 4, I think that Pitbull probably ends up coming out with the win. He's just a winner, bro.
Yeah, he's tough. So if you were to do a Grand Prix of some sort, would you rather it be a 16-man?
A 16 compared to an 8?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd rather it be spread out to where, I fight. If I can fight a Hits and Gracie choke style kind of thing, man, to where I can fight 3 fights in a day, man, that's a dream come true. I'm waiting 5 months to get a fight.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Why not wait 5 months when I can fight 30 minutes?
Right. Would you say that RIZIN is a place that you'd want to stay if you had a choice, money withstanding, that would be the promotion you want to stay with?
Dude, the fans are amazing, bro. And I get so much respect over there compared to the United States. And it's nothing against the United States promotions or anything like that. It's just like they go back to the samurais, bro. They know what honor, strength, discipline, the stuff that the UFC puts out, that they want to put out to the people, but the people aren't getting it.
Right.
And over there they get it. And I would rather be respected, than have a bunch of money.
Right. Well, and then the crowds are amazing, and you could probably speak to this better than I can, but on TV, it's the crowds are super quiet until action really well. Right?
Yeah.
So it's like if somebody's almost in an ankle lock or toe hold or something then they get real hyped up, but they are extremely respectful. Every fighter I've talked to has said that just fighting in front of those fans and the respect that they get from those fans is, and some of you guys are Americans going up against Japanese fighters, which is crazy,
Yeah.
Hearing like, I live in Colorado. If you're from California and you're fighting the Colorado dude, you're getting booed out of the damn room. Yeah.
Man, it's ridiculous. And it's because everybody has pride. You know what I'm saying? In America, we have a little bit too much pride. If we put that pride just a little bit out of the way, America, we can make it. But, hey, Japan fans are killing American fans. I'm sorry, but they are. I love my Japanese fans. They are the best. And people coming up to you, wanting you to sign cardboards and stuff like that. I'm like, I have never done this in the UFC, the largest promotion in the world.
Right.
And I traveled outside of the United States for that,
Right. Where else have you fought? What's the most interesting place you fought outside of Japan?
Chechnya, dude. Chechnya is crazy. They got just it's like a third world kind of vibe mixed with like, I don't know. If I was to run a country and outside of like the poverty and stuff like that, I would run the country exactly like that. There's no alcohol, there's no weed, there's nothing to be influenced by. They're all really, really good people besides, the high up guys. And in politics, it doesn't matter if you're in the United States or outside of the United States, it's still corrupt.
Yeah, it's like that everywhere. What were the rules set like that there? What was the rule set there?
It was the same as America.
Okay.
Yep. But they wouldn't let us elbow. We couldn't elbow.
On the ground or on the feet as well?
We couldn't elbow on the feet or the ground because it was a Grand Prix.
Okay.
And we were supposed to fight month to month. Okay. So we didn't want any cuts or anything like that to happen. So and one thing that I wish that RIZIN would do, and I know that they're very wary of cheaters and stuff like that. They don't want anybody to have a higher, advantage. But man, if we could have used Vaseline before that fight, that would have never happened.
Really? You don't use Vaseline there?
They didn't put Vaseline on any of us.
Wow.
And
I didn't know
if they
that.
put Vaseline on Haruo Ochi's head, then that fight would have definitely kept going. And even when he was cut, it wasn't a crazy cut. It was like at the top of the head.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And if they would have been able to just stop the bleeding, then Haruo, it would have been I don't know. It was his choice, but still, it's unfortunate, man, and it sucks.
Well, I know, and it sucked as a viewer too, because that was one of my most anticipated fights. Because I've watched you both fight enough times to know it was going to be a stylistically good fight, both fast, and it was going to be pure action. You know, one thing I could say about you, Jared, is that you're not in boring fights, even when you're knocking yourself out, right?
Jesus, that is the man. I don't think I'll ever live that down. And it was and you know, I won other 2 fights, and you know, they were split decisions and stuff like that. It was more on nerves. You know, I'm way better than that. You know,
Right.
But in the Torres fight, I actually showed what I was about, and then I fucked myself, dude.
Well, he was the undefeated prospect that they were trying to build up, and like I said, you were winning that fight pretty handily, I thought. And it was, you know, dumb luck. Shit happens. You learn from it. I won't go back to that again for your sake.
No, hey, I like going back to it. You know why? Because it reminds me each time that when I pick up somebody, I need to lightly put them on the ground.
Right. Just real light. I didn't know about the no Vaseline thing. Now that I'm looking back and thinking about it, I don't really remember that. Do you remember Roque Martinez fighting Crow Cop? That was at RIZIN, I'm going to say 12 or 13. Anyway, Roki's a friend of mine, and he's been on the podcast a couple times, and he got hit with an elbow, and it was kind of a similar place as Haruo's cut, up higher in the head. And it bled down a little, but give it a little bit of time, you could have stopped it. I know that Japan has a thing to where they don't really like blood that much.
Yeah, they hate it.
Yeah, so they stop fights really, really quickly. But to your point, God damn, a little bit of Vaseline would have allowed you guys to slide right across each other, you know?
Yeah.
And what else sucks is that card was top to bottom amazing fights.
Yeah.
Literally. After your fight, and I know you were upset after that fight, or before, do you watch the fights? Are you watching them in the back, or do you? Because some fighters.
Oh yeah.
Do you get to go out to the arena and watch them? Is that your choice?
I did. I mean, after my fight, I was so mad, and you know, I was just in the back, you know, bawling my eyes out. I beat myself up over that too, because I was like, "Why are you crying on national Japan, you know, television, Jared?" But you know, when you're fighting, you have so much emotion that just let out. And I worked really hard to get down to that weight because I don't cut weight. You know what I'm saying? And I really, really pushed myself to get down to 117, and in the work that I put in for 7 seconds, I wasn't even worried about the pay. I was just worried about, you know, how people perceived me in Japan, and you know, my next shot, you know, or if I'm getting it, you know. So that's what was the emotions that I was feeling. But before the fights, I watched those 2 kickboxing fights. Those kids were legit. Absolutely legit. And I watched Scoggins' fight on the TV screen in the back.
Okay. Do you train with Scoggins?
I'd say that Justin is probably one of my, like, even though we're pretty much in the same weight class and we fought in the same weight class in the UFC, I'd say he's like one of my masters. Like, we've helped each other through thick and thin for the past 4 or 5 years. You know what I'm saying? And to have a friend like him, me and him are literally exactly like we were born on the same day. He has a brother named Jared. I have a brother named Justin.
Wow.
And, you know, God put me in front of him for a reason, and he knows that too. And we're literally almost exactly alike.
Yeah, he's one of the people I'm going to reach out to and hopefully get on the podcast because I enjoy to watch him fight as well.
Amazing fighter, dude.
Yeah. And I do think that RIZIN's got to give you another chance. I mean, you know, and like I said, it's part of what I wanted to have you on for, because an exciting fighter like you, RIZIN's only building. and it's only going to get bigger and bigger. I mean, this last event was watched by more people in the States than, I mean, I don't have numbers to back this up, but just judging by my Twitter and Instagram and stuff, everyone was paying attention, and it wasn't even their biggest card, right?
Yeah.
Come New Year's Eve is going to be just bananas, you know? And
dude, if I get on that card, I might just ejaculate. I'm sorry. But
you might
that 31st card, bro, woo! I watched that last one, and I was like, dude, absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, it's bananas. Did you get to meet the English commentary team, Frank Trigg or Showdown Joe?
No, I didn't. I think that the commentary team there was Ben Yin.
Ben Wynn, yeah.
And Ben Wynn. Yin. I call him Yin.
Yeah.
And that's another guy I want to fight. He was in the UFC at 125, and dude, I don't see it. I to be honest, I just don't see the hype. Call me a hater, just don't see it.
He got starched quickly by Haruo Ochi.
I'll admit when somebody is good.
Yeah, right.
And I just don't think he's that good. So if they want to put me up against him, let's get it.
And so with that 7 seconds that you went through, is it? I've heard fighters talk about this, but what do you do to release that?
Release
to release the energy, because you go in the back and you're sad and you're crying, and even in the ring, I think the Japanese fans respected that, by the way, you know, and they felt bad for you, but they saw your passion shining through. But surely there's got to be like, you're ready for a fight and you don't get a fight. Isn't there a release, or does your girlfriend do you take it out all on her?
Well, I went in the back, and you know, I had Michael Westbrook. He was an NFL football player, and he was really known for for knocking out one of his teammates for calling him a slur, right? Mm-hmm. But Westbrook, he's really calm dude actually, and James and Justin, and they're like, dude, just calm down. You'll get another chance, you know. And you know, I really thank my team for doing that, because I mean, when you're done with a fight like that, you're like on the tips of like wanting to kill yourself, right, kind of. Right. You know, you're like, dude, like I can't catch a goddamn break. Right. You know, all these other guys are back now. I can't go outside of the cage and do what I love. You know, that's like, it's like putting a tiger in a cage and just putting a piece of meat in front of his face. You know. Right.
Well, you mentioned Michael Westbrook. He was there with you.
Yeah, Westbrook. He gets frequent flying miles from his wife, which is an airline stewardess. So he pretty much gets to fly all around the world for free. And whenever I have Westbrook, he's a jiu-jitsu black belt also. Wow, so having him in my corner, it was awesome, dude. He's been in my corner every UFC fight, from Brazil to Anaheim to Brooklyn. He's always been there for me, and I barely even knew him.
How'd you meet him?
James. He's one of James's. James Lee. He's my coach. One of his best friends. When Westbrook pretty much quit the NFL, James was like, "Hey, dude, come and stay with me. I got you." So Westbrook started to get into fighting, and he was on like Bully Beatdown with Mayhem Miller and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so.
Hell of a football player too.
Oh man, but one of the best wide receivers of all time.
He was good.
Literally of all time.
Well, and the reason I asked you about the music, just to go back to that, because I want to touch on some of that. But in the UFC, it's hard to hear what the fighter's coming out to, because most of the time they're coming back from commercial and people are talking. I don't know how much of the RIZIN telecast you've watched as far as on Fight TV, but the commentators, Trigg and Showdown Joe, are relatively quiet. I mean, we get to see the entire opening ceremony. We get to hear your whole song. We get to watch you walk down the ramp and throw.
About the fighters, man.
It is about the fighters. Were those real bananas?
Yeah. All right. So I might be giving myself away here, but I might not go back to Nagoya again. Who knows?
Right.
But the hotel that we were staying at, they had a buffet. And I was like, how the hell am I going to get these fucking bananas? And so I go and steal all, literally 30 bananas out of the buffet and put them in my shirt. And all the Asian people were looking at me like, we know what you're doing, but we're going to let it happen.
Oh man, that's great.
So in real monkey fashion, I did steal all of the bananas.
That's the only way to do it. Monkey
Yep.
God. Do you get to rehearse this at all? Or I mean, no, but you do get to go check out the ring and stuff before. Is it the same day or is
Yeah.
it the day before?
No, I got there a day before. So it was the day of. I just got in and I went in there for 30 seconds and was like, I'm ready. Let's go.
Wow. And would you say that the ropes favor you, or would you rather fight in a cage?
Um, I mean, I'm a wrestler-based fighter
Mm,
mostly. My jiu-jitsu is great and my hands are great, but I think that a cage really. But the ring ropes were really hard, tough. Kind of like a cage. It wasn't
okay.
like bendy or
They
anything
weren't
like
real
that.
loose like
So
some boxing rings, huh?
yeah, but like when you get somebody, I'm an outside wrestler too. So if I can get somebody outside and to where they can't stand up, then that's probably better for me. So I'd say a ring.
Do you think it's easier to get up in a ring if someone takes you down? Because I've heard both sides of the story.
If you get on a turnbuckle, I'd say.
Okay.
But I'd say a cage is probably easier.
Okay. Okay. And with the music thing, what do you listen to in your personal time, Jared?
I listen to everything, dude. I listen from Frank Sinatra to Comethazine.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I listen to hood rap, to Frank Sinatra, 80s rock, 70s, 60s. I love all of it, man. Jazz,
Well,
love
and
it all.
being in Detroit, surely you got to be listening to some hip hop because that's where a lot
I
of
listen to old school hip hop from Detroit. The new school hip hop from Detroit sucks, and I hate it
new school
because
hip
that's
hop in
all they're
general.
doing is trying to dumb down the population.
That's new school hip hop in general for you. I think,
Yeah.
I'm the same way.
Hey, 2 minutes, hey, 2 minutes, hey.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
It's absolutely terrible. Well, I got a couple fan questions for you, but I got a couple more things before I go there.
Yeah.
Your theatrics that like we talked about, had you ever had a fight where you got to express your personality in the way of putting on a mask or doing anything like that?
No, man, I never really thought of it. And it was genius. My manager was just, and my coaches were like, dude, you got to do this. This is what's going to make you a superstar in Japan. And I was hoping that walkout and the fight, you know what I'm saying? And the fight would, push that even more,
Right.
but I didn't get a chance to do that. So they just seen a little snippet of me pretty much. But no, and I really appreciate from my coaches and my managers, seeing that and being like, pounce on that,
No,
so.
and I think it's a memorable thing. I follow and am followed by a lot of Japanese people, and they all loved it and they all felt bad for you. And it's not like it was your fault. If you would have went out there and poked the guy in the eyes, John Jones style, a bunch of
Yeah.
times, you know what I mean? Then there's
Yeah,
something to
that's
feel
different.
bad about. But it's fair to say that you would like a rematch. Would that
Oh,
be?
man, I would love a rematch. Let's get it tomorrow. He's in America right now.
And this guy that you're fighting on the 30th, you said he's undefeated?
Yeah, he's 6-0, dude. He is not one to play with. He's a big, tall, 125-pounder. And they were trying – my managers, they're very smart. They managed Matt Hughes, Jens Pulver, Robbie Lawler, the original guys in the UFC. And they know how matchmakers and the presidents can take advantage of the fighters. Okay. So they pretty much were trying to give me puds. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to give me puds for the money that I was making. Because, I mean, you pay me $2,000, I'm going to go against a pud, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And but if you're paying me good money, I'll fight anybody in the world, bro. Like literally, I'll fight Rampage Jackson for $30,000.
Right.
That's $30,000. That's life changing.
Hell yeah.
But at the same time, I was like to the point because they were trying to get me guys that were like, 10 and 15 and stuff like that, and I'm just like, dude, that doesn't make me excited. Like, what does that do? And they back out anyway.
Right.
So I was like, dude, get me somebody that is high caliber, that's an up-and-comer that, people are looking at. And in Texas and, the Southeast, people are looking at him. So I'm like, let's go.
Would you say that part of this fight is just you wanting to stay active and stay busy?
Yeah, dude. I need a fight. I haven't fought in almost a year and 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
I don't count that fight in RIZIN a fight. So I told him right after, I was like, dude, give me a fight right then and there, and then I'll fight in December.
Right. And that's what I like about RIZIN. And, in comparison, like I said, I watch MMA, but the non-exclusive contracts, right? They allow you to go fight in another promotion and deep and Pancrase and a lot of these things. And then we see the cross promotion with Bellator. I think that there's some exciting Bellator fighters that you could fight against. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I really think there's a lot of matchups out there for you. You named a song earlier or an artist earlier that you came out to in your second UFC fight. How do you spell that? It started with an S.
Sango, Sango, and it's more of it's kind of like a Brazilian mixed with hip hop kind of style, but like he's one of the best producers of all time.
I'm gonna check it out. I always try to get fighters to put me on to new music.
Oh, he's dope, bro. I'm more of a producer guy. I like listening to the music more than the words nowadays, because the words kind of mess up the beat.
Mm-hmm. No, I totally agree. I listen to a lot of ambient music as well.
Yeah.
It allows you, I think, to kind of have free thoughts without paying so much attention to the lyrics. Plus, a lot of these lyrics nowadays are so damn sappy, and everything's about love and shit.
Well, everything's so regular, and my car, star, par, and me, I'm a rapper. I've been rapping since I was like 9 years old, dude, and I consider myself a rhythmic, artistic poet. You know what I'm saying? So
have you put anything out that people can listen to?
No, I do it myself, and I do it through my phone. I don't have a studio or anything like that, but I go on to GarageBand. I pick my favorite producer, and I talk to these producers too. I talk to Knowledge. Knowledge is a huge producer that I talk to. Did Anderson .Paak's last album, and I talked to Ninth Wonder. Ninth Wonder is a huge producer.
Really good.
I talk to him, and I like to do their beats, but it's something that I want to do after my career, and because people don't want to listen to lyrics. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I have a voice too, man. I can sing, I can do a lot of things, but I feel like my fighting career is something that I have to focus on before I want to push my artistic abilities and rapping out to the people.
Well, you sound passionate about a whole lot. How long do you see yourself fighting, barring any major injuries or anything?
Until I'm dead. Until somebody fucking kills me. You're gonna see me in an octagon or a ring, or doing something that's a form of martial arts.
Right. No, that makes sense. I think that being only 26, I'm not even sure you've hit your prime yet, right? I mean,
who knows? I don't know.
Who knows? A couple things before we get to fan questions. I wanted to ask you if you have a favorite, or do you watch MMA first of all? Do you watch UFC? Do you watch
every event?
You watched? You saw Greg Hardy last night using What did you think of that?
Literally lost his breath.
That shit was crazy. I've never seen anything like that.
Well, dude, hey, and dude, to have the guy, he's a great guy. He's a really nice dude. But Twitter is undefeated.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah.
Dude, I feel bad for the guy. I mean, besides him hitting his wife like 5-6 years ago, which people won't let him live down.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He actually played in the NFL after that.
Right.
So it wasn't that crazy of a fiasco to where
and they didn't mention it every NFL broadcast.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that Greg Hardy has just had some tough goes, but I mean the dude's pretty much 3-0 in the UFC, so can't
can't really get too mad about that.
Did you think it should have been a disqualification instead of a no contest?
Yeah, just because I mean, no, because the commission fucked up. The commission told him that he could do that, but what commission is going to tell you that you can take an enhancing breathing apparatus and put it in the middle of a round, not after the fight, not before the fight, but in the middle of a round, bro? That's crazy.
Have you ever used an inhaler? I mean, I don't have asthma, but I've used one before. I had a collapsed lung at one point, and even after I got over that, I was a basketball player, and I've used it, and it helps your breathing, bro. Like,
it does?
Yeah, it's not like it does nothing. You know what I mean?
I just toke, bro.
Oh yeah, me too. Me too. I live in Colorado. Best place to be. You know what I mean?
Yo, hey.
If you ever make your way out here, man, make sure you hit me up.
I will.
All right, we're gonna get into some fan questions. Oh, actually, I wanted to ask you first. What else do you do with your free time? I know you have a girlfriend. You don't have any kids?
No, thank
you
God.
Plan to have kids?
Yeah, I wanna have a big ninja team. I wanna have like 5 or 6 just little badass ninjas to where we can roam the streets and make them better.
And if they wanted to become fighters, boy or girl, would you support that?
Yeah, of course. Why wouldn't I support that, man? It's given me life.
Right.
I don't know what in the world I'd probably be in prison right now if it wasn't for fighting. So yeah, I mean I'm definitely gonna be a really, really good influencer on my future kids. But yeah, I want them to at least learn to defend themselves and get a brown belt in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. See, I feel the same about my daughter. I at least try to help her defend herself. If she wants to take the life path of being a fighter, she watches the fights with me, then I'm not going to stop her from doing it. But I've talked to some people that are like, oh, absolutely not. The life of a fighter is too hard. And it's like, hey, you got to let your kids do what they want. I mean, it's one thing if you're pushing them towards it, but if they want to do it themselves, what can you do about it, right?
Hey, man, besides the money, the opportunities and the things that I've seen and the people that I've met, it's priceless. It's literally priceless. I can't put a number on what my MMA career showed me and blessed me with in this life.
In a short time too. You still got a long time to go. Who would you say are among your favorite fighters, past or present?
Past, let's go with Kevin Randleman. Got Tito Ortiz. We'll go with Mark Kerr.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
You got Boss Rutan. Dude, all of the old heads, I love them all because those are the guys that don't get respected, that are sitting at home pretty much with CTE and no fan base whatsoever. If I could tell each and every one of those guys, that's what I said after my last fight. I said, thank you to the MMA fathers and grandfathers of the sport, because I would not be here without those guys and their inspiration towards me, you know, because this is a fairly young sport.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, those guys are awesome. And new age fighters, I love Yair Rodriguez's style. I hate his personality, but I love his style, dude. His style is ridiculous. Let's go with.
Yeah, we say your fight would have been 5 rounds last night. I feel like we would have
Jeremy Stevens probably would have beat him.
I think so too.
Because Yair was dead, absolutely dead.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you do all those crazy moves. Like what's his name? That did those backflips and shit.
Oh, Michel Pereira.
He's dead after the first round.
Yeah, he was dead walking
I was doing
fucking
backflips.
Yeah, that shit was crazy.
Hey, entertaining as hell though. Yeah. Entertaining as hell.
Yeah,
and Frankie Edgar, God, I never thought that I was more of in a fight in middle school than when I was watching Frankie Edgar, because I literally thought I was him.
Wow.
And yeah, he was my hero. Matt Hughes. Man, there's just so many great fighters. I don't want to put down my own version of that.
That's good. Fans just like to know this stuff. What about favorite fighter, favorite event, something that sticks out in your mind the most?
What did you say?
Favorite fight or favorite event? What's got in your mind the most? Like, if you
favorite fight, you got to go with fucking Don Fry versus that big ass dog.
Best fight ever.
That fight was awesome. Who doesn't want to watch that fight? And then any Tony Ferguson fight is a great fight. And
he's tough, man.
He's just in wars. Every one of them is a war. And
prediction on him and Khabib, real quick. Him and Khabib.
I think it's. I think that Khabib might have his hands full. It's a tough fight because I don't think that Khabib has ever faced anybody with the well-roundedness of Tony Ferguson. And don't get me wrong, Tony Ferguson's been out for a minute, you know? Right. But you look at every opponent that Tony Ferguson's fought, they're done. They're like half of their career was taken away from that.
Yeah, I saw a meme recently that showed his last 9 or 10 opponents, and all of them were bloody face and swelled. Yeah. My thing is that Khabib is great, but if he gets caught in something like he got against Poirier, that guillotine.
Or Michael Johnson, bro.
Yeah.
Remember when Michael Johnson was putting it on him?
Yeah.
At first, you know, and that's the thing, man. Everybody wants to put down Khabib, but Khabib is 28-0.
Right.
The dude is a winner, and he knows how to win.
Right.
So, if Tony Ferguson was a minus or plus 300 or something like that, I put my money on Tony Ferguson. But if it was close, I put my money on Khabib.
Yeah, I don't know that he'll be. I feel exactly the same, and a fan of both guys. But if Ferguson's anywhere above 200, 250, there's money there.
Yeah.
And it's not that I don't think that either guy can be beaten. I just think that when Khabib takes him down, Ferguson has that ground game that is unbelievable.
And he's lighting you up with them bony ass elbows.
And then we watch him get hurt, and he recovers like nobody's business, right? I mean,
who kicks a fucking pole, bro?
Right.
Who kicks a pole? I ain't kicking no poles. I know what happens. I condition my shins, but I ain't kicking no pole.
I was going to ask you about that. When you did your kickboxing fights, surely you had to have conditioned your inside of your thighs, your shins. How did you go about this?
I didn't do anything, bro. I was like 18, 17. I was just kickboxing. I was just trying to beat people up. I didn't know anything.
Would you say that those are the most painful shots, though, like the inside thigh kick or something like that?
I'm knock on wood, but I can't say. I'd say like an outside calf kick.
Okay.
Outside calf kicks suck. Inside, I do a lot of bike, and even though my legs are skinny, they're pretty strong, and they're pretty. I can take some kicks.
Have you been watching the Bellator featherweight tournament?
No, I'm not crazy into Bellator. I think that I went to school with Joey Iceman Davis.
Oh, okay.
You know Joey Davis?
Yeah.
Kid's crazy. And AJ, all I gotta say is AJ McKee, that kid's fucking nuts.
He's so good.
Dude, and I used to shit on him. I used to be like, I don't see what's up with this kid. And now I'm like, holy shit, this kid could probably be a UFC world champion.
No question. All right, we got a fan question here. Can't read who this is from because it's too many letters, but it's from Reddit. Do you speak any Japanese?
No, I did a snippet for the Japanese fans 4 months ago, something like that, as a monkey on Snapchat. And I read it off of Google Translate. And I probably messed it up. I probably said something like my balls stink or something like that. But but I really do need to learn a lot more Japanese. And so I can, one, figure out if they're talking shit, and two, to communicate with the fans, because I really do want to communicate with with all the fans over there because they're awesome, man. And when I say that, I really, really do appreciate like people coming up to me and appreciating that I'm putting my life out on the line for these guys. That just means the world to me, man. Like if Americans did that, then it almost brought me to tears, dude. Seeing how many people I had, coming outside of the hotel, I was like, dude, this is what it's supposed to be like.
Yeah, no, it is. It is, and that same admiration I have for you and for all these fighters, Jared, and
I really appreciate that, man.
just because I know the grind of just punching a punching bag and training. I've done some light sparring, but just the everyday grind. I mean, training doesn't stop. You start, as you could probably speak to, you stop training for a couple months, and you've lost so many steps. I'm sure, right?
I'm a little guy, bro. I don't lose no steps. Literally, and I mean, as far as sparring goes, I guess you know what I'm saying. But dude, I could take a whole year off and be right where I am, just because of my body and my mind. I've been doing this for so long that I have it instilled. You know what I'm saying? But I can't say that when I'm 35, 40 years old.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When you're 35, 40, then, yeah, you're going through some changes.
Yeah.
But I'm 26 years old right now, and even as a kid, dude, the less I trained, the better I did.
Wow. What else do you do? Do you go mountain climbing? Do you ride bikes? Do you do anything like this?
I do pretty much triathlete training inside of a gym. I don't do it outside. I don't like swimming in nasty lakes or anything like that because I have really bad ear infections.
Oh.
But I love running, I love biking, and I love swimming, and I love hanging out and getting to bang my girlfriend.
Well, and like you said with the Japanese thing, I'm actively trying to learn some Japanese myself just to show my appreciation to the fans, to the fighters.
Yeah.
But also Stuart Fulton, if you're familiar with him.
I know Stuart, yeah. He commentated my Pancrase fight.
Yeah, great guy. Yeah. I can't say enough good things about him. But he moved from Scotland to Japan and learned Japanese in less than a year. Not knowing anything. He moved from Scotland, went to Japan, got a job.
Well, it's kind of like if you hang out with people, then it catches on pretty easily. Like that's how I would learn it. I haven't been in Japan long enough to do that, but me reading a book or hearing it, I'm just like I can't. No offense, but I can't do it. And America's probably harder.
I grew up knowing some Spanish because of my heritage, but the less I used it, the shit, I can hardly speak it anymore. But same as Japanese, but he did say exactly what you said, that being around it every day, listening to people speak it, and the Japanese people are so kind that they'll help you out so much that's the key to learning it. And so hopefully you get a long contract in RIZIN and get to be there a whole bunch. You know what I mean?
Man, that'd be a dream come true, man. And I really just want to show my ass out there, dude. If I can show what I'm about fighting, I showed what I'm about entertainment wise, what I can bring to the table. And if I can entertain the people as much fighting as I did walking out, then I think that it will be a good relationship with RIZIN.
Well, and I think that just to kind of wrap up, I think that Bellator I don't even think they have a 115 men's division.
They do, but they're so regional. They'll go even 125, 135, 145. Like they have their set like I say 10 to 15 guys that are their supposed superstars.
Right.
But outside of that, they just go to like who lives close and who can jump on this cart.
Right. Which those guys probably don't get paid very much, and it's not really a sustainable career.
Probably getting paid worse than WXC.
Right. Well, and then in RIZIN, I feel like you got the feeder organization in Deep and in Real FC and Road FC and,
all those are legit.
Yeah, and they're all legit. Do you watch much Deep fighting or Deep, Jules?
I started watching Deep a lot more when I learned that Haruo was the 15-pound champ. I watched and I trained at Hearts MMA when I fought in Pancrase, and there was 2 Deep champions there at 45 and 35, and they're all legit.
And it's a fun organization to watch. Just to plug them, they have an event, Deep Jewels and Deep Impact this weekend.
Impact, yeah, that's one I watched.
And the Deep Jewels is fun too. They're all women or whatever, but they have an event this weekend. I'll shoot you out some links. Last thing for you would be, you kind of talked about what are you going to do after fighting? Let me ask you this first. What was your career if you didn't fight? What were you looking at?
Probably fighting people in prison. I was a troublemaker, man. Literally, I was a little troublemaker. It might not look like it, but I was a troublemaker, dude.
Did you have fights in school?
Every day.
Wow.
Every day. I had a key to the wrestling room. I would pick who I wanted to fight, and they didn't mess with me or anything like that because I was short. I was the bully. I was the short guy. That was the bully. Right. I was pretty much treating it like prison before I was in prison. So thank God for fighting, man. But now I want to venture and use my money. I didn't use my money wisely when I was in the UFC. So the money that I accumulate, I'm going to work towards going to college and being a massage therapist and a chiropractic physician.
Nice. That's a job that will be there forever too. You know, any kind of medical stuff.
I have really strong fingers, man. So, I mean, anybody that wants massages, I mean, all of my guys at my gym, they're always like, Jared, come over here, do this, do that. I ain't cracking anybody's necks or anything like that, but I'm massaging people. And if I could learn how to do that, like do the massage and then crack people's necks, that's money. You know what I'm saying? So, but I see myself fighting until I'm dead. So I don't know.
Right. Well, thank you so much, Jared, for joining us. I hope to have you back
on. One of the best interviews I've ever had. For real.
Yeah, I appreciate it so much, man. And we'll be talking again, I hope. And let's hope that you get a fight before New Year's Eve, and we'll catch up before or after that.
My dog, man. Hey, I appreciate you again, man, and I appreciate you reaching out to me.
I appreciate you so much, Jared. We'll be talking, all right, buddy?
All right, bro. Have a good one.
You too, man.